All right, we're live. So welcome back to Dapp University. So today we're going to look at a lot that's happened in the crypto space since yesterday. We're going to check on the cryptocurrency prices and a lot more. But the first thing I want to talk about is how cryptocurrency is actually taking off. So the actual crypto technology itself and what that's got to do with the crypto prices. All right, we're talking about that in this video. Like I said, a lot more. So if you're new around here, hey, I'm Gregory. And on this channel, I turn you into a blockchain master. We do these live streams Monday through Friday between 9:30 a.m., 10 a.m. Central Time here on this channel. Just make sure you turn on notifications, subscribe down below to find out about those whenever we go live. As always, smash that like button down below, subscribe to this channel. It really helps these videos out so the more people learn about blockchain. And if you're as fast at this technology as I am, want to get your hands dirty today, you can sign up down below at dappuniversity.com/bootcamp. All right, so let's just go ahead and jump in the chat here. So we got Taylor, Jam, Air, Alan, Kamir, Nice, BC, Jason, Rodrigo, Jr., Cito, welcome. So let's go ahead and jump into our first item of discussion here, which is how crypto is taking off. Okay, so let me clarify what I mean by that. So I saw this tweet come up yesterday. Somebody actually tagged me in it. Talking about the actual crypto adoption curves compared to the internet. All right, so let's just take a look here on my screen. We'll check on the prices here in a second, but this is what I wanted to lead with because I thought this was pretty amazing. So let's just try this here. Yeah, awesome. So GM Bianco actually tagged me in this yesterday, but I want to start off with the retweet from Raul Paul here. So this was, while we're all enjoying the volatility, prices have got a lot of people down lately. He says, I'm actually pretty impressed with how people are taking it as a part of the course and aren't really freaked out. But here's what we're actually investing in. The fastest rate of adoption of any technology in history. Okay. He's saying the volatility is noise. So if you actually look at the chart here, when you're talking about the technology adoption curve, adjusted for log scale, you look at total global internet users and the number of millions from 1992 to 2006. All right. And you can actually see the number of crypto users here compared to internet users over time. And the number it's actually growing at a faster rate than the internet is. Okay. So you can see 80% average yearly growth, slowing down to like 33% average growth here. And this is where we are in the trajectory. All right. It's pretty crazy. And you can actually see that, here, let's just go back up. This is what Jim tagged me in. So he kind of added his commentary to this saying, looking at this particular graph here, and you look at the number of, the growth of Bitcoin versus Ethereum, right? And you see, the number of addresses with non-zero balances with ETH compared to Bitcoin. Now, there's other metrics you could look at here. You could look at actual active addresses over certain periods of time. You could try to filter this out with smart contracts versus externally owned accounts and things like that. But I think this is still a pretty good metric to see. Number one, or both these charts are pretty good metrics to paint a picture of, number one, how fast the entire crypto space is growing. And then number two, what's growing the fastest, all right? And the ETH network effects in terms of utility value, the actual network itself is growing significantly faster than Bitcoin. All right, and of course you could adjust this for the period in their life for which they started, but ETH would still be like growing way faster at that point. So why is this important? Well, of course, like Raul's saying here, the volatility has gotten a lot of people down. He's talking about the volatility sort of being noise on this road of adoption here. And the long-term thesis on this channel has always been, as cryptocurrency, so cryptocurrency prices are fundamentally based on supply and demand. Now, it's really hard to know what the fair market value of a cryptocurrency is, right? But their price is always driven by demand. And if you have sound economics in the sense that your cryptocurrency can't just be printed willy-nilly, right? And as the demand increases, then the price goes up, right? Because the supply doesn't just increase infinitely or anything like that. So that's assumption number one. Assumption number two is, as the technology is more useful and gains more network effects, that over time that will actually generate more demand for the actual technology and then also the cryptocurrency itself, and value will accrue to that cryptocurrency, right? Making the price appreciate. So that doesn't necessarily mean the price is going to just absolutely explode out of nowhere overnight, right? The price action that we've seen over the past, 6 months or so, where Bitcoin reached a brand new all-time high, and other cryptocurrencies as well. That very well could be a bubble on the road to its regular trajectory, right? We've been way above some of these moving averages. Maybe some of these long-term moving averages are more of a clear indicator of where the price could be, right? So I guess what I'm saying is you could still be on exponential price appreciation, and this could still be a bubble, right? And if that bubble booms and busts, it could, fall below the upward trajectory here. But yeah, I still expect this to have a major impact on the price long term. And that's just sort of something that I thought was really interesting yesterday, and something that's definitely important to keep in perspective, while we're in this period of uncertainty, volatility, unclear on what's going to happen with the prices. So let's go ahead and look at the prices for today. So see, we got some comments in the chat here. So first, are we going up or down? So bearish, no more bulls. ETH is also awesome. Welcome. So yeah, let's go ahead and look at the cryptocurrency prices. I'm just gonna pull up a simple chart here on CoinGecko before we pull the trading view charts here. All right, so let me just pull up my screen here. So yeah. You look for the 7-day here, everything was looking pretty rough, but we do see some reversal, all right, at least in the short term, all right? It's pretty much everything hit a bottom yesterday, a temporary bottom. We'll see if it ends up being a long-term bottom or not. So Bitcoin's currently, these have these buy buttons on there. I guess these are like affiliate links maybe. Let's see if I can get them away. It won't even show me the prices because they're, there we go. All right, so Bitcoin, that's really annoying. $34,000. Ether, $1,999. So Tether BNB. All right, let's just take a look at the Bitcoin charts here. So as always, again, not a big technical analysis person in the sense that I'm not super skilled technical analysis, but I'll just kind of give you my high level thoughts here. I do like to look at the big picture. I think there are some technical indicators that are helpful, just to help make decisions. So I'll give you my perspective on this, right? So basically, I mean, we still things still look bearish here. All right, we're kind of, some people talk about this being a consolidation period, but it's still sort of some downward bearish momentum. I mean, it looks like you're moving in a line here. So I'll tell you what I'm personally doing based on this information. I'm not buying more, right? I'm not selling the cryptocurrency. I'm just kind of doing nothing and waiting to see what happens. We did have the death cross that happened. We do see these moving averages continue to fall. Everything's kind of moving in that downward momentum. Before we kind of just confirm bullishness, we definitely want to see a clear trend reversal. And we don't have a clear trend reversal, right? It just looks like things are, headed downward. So that doesn't mean that that also means we could have bottomed here, all right? But I want to see some consolidation for a while. And that's likely what you would see, is some consolidation chop before you saw a trend reversal. I don't think that we're just going to experience like a V-shaped recovery and just rock it up, all right? I think momentum is a big part of these cryptocurrency price movements, and that's one of the reasons these moving averages are so important in my book, is because they're a pretty clear indicator of where your momentum was from the past. And if the momentum is now downward, it's going to require some sideways chop at the very least before we have some sort of confirmed bullish momentum going up. I mean, unless something absolutely crazy happens, which I just don't think is going to happen, we definitely need time before we can see a trend reversal here. So it's always not financial advice. I'm not buying anything. We're just kind of in limbo, just waiting to see what happens. So let me know what you all think down in the link in the chat below. Somebody says bounce hard. Somebody says dead cat bounce. So let's actually see what's happened on the ETH charts here. Let me pull them up. I'll just pull up the Coinbase charts. So, yeah, Ether. I mean, we do see some relief, right? Some green candles. ETH came down here and tested its long-term moving average, right? We see a green candle off that, but it's the same story. Like, we basically need, like, I don't think we're in a period where ETH is just gonna like start taking off, where Bitcoin is, lagging behind or anything like that. I think the entire cryptocurrency market's pretty coupled in that way. I still think Bitcoin's king. I think Bitcoin's the leader right now. I just don't think ETH is going to like rebound or anything like that without Bitcoin making a move first. So, I mean, what's also possible, we talked about this, is, we don't, everybody's kind of trying to figure out how low could Bitcoin go. It's very possible that Bitcoin gets down to the 20,000s and doesn't break its prior historical all-time high, but Ethereum, it could break its historical all-time high. There's no rules that says it can't do that type of stuff. So that's definitely something to watch out for. So let me turn my phone off. Somebody says, can you look at how the volume dips on the weekends? Yeah, you can see the volume down here on the charts. It's down here at the bottom. So let's see, does a Taproot update on Bitcoin make it more compatible for dApps? See, BC bounce off 33. It's happening right now. Yeah, we'll see. Okay, so let's look at somebody says 2 months of capitulation on the way. Yeah, very well could happen. So let's look at some other stuff that's coming out here. I'll pull up these articles on my screen. Sorry, I have two monitors and it kind of goes in the wrong place sometimes. So see if we got questions here in the chat. Somebody says, do you think the dips on the weekend show the power of institutional investors? Maybe. So is the activity, let's see. Somebody says you said you're not buying more, you're comfortable with your buy-in points. What would make you buy more? That's a good question. What would make me buy more is if we yeah, it's hard to say. Like, probably if if we actually did enter into a longer term price correction, the prices were significantly cheaper than where we were now, and it looked like we were on a confirmed upward trend, that might be a situation where I would personally buy more. But a lot of it's got to do with just how I was positioned before, okay? Because part of it's I would have to buy a lot more compared to when I bought a long time ago to really make it much of an impact. And you're talking about just risk reward, because you can still always go down significantly versus, going up. Someone's eagerly waiting for EIP 1559. So yeah, we definitely talked about that a ton on this channel, but that's an exciting thing happening on Ethereum's roadmap coming up down the road. EIP 1559, this is the big improvement proposal for Ethereum. Of course, one of the things people are most excited about is the fee burning for Ethereum. It's supposed to go live at the end of July or early mid-August, somewhere kind of in that time range. We'll kind of wait and see. But this is a highly anticipated feature for ETH. Somebody says, when ETH 2.0 comes out, will ETH start to lose value because ETH is getting burnt off? So it would actually have the opposite effect, assuming that ETH is, assuming that demand for Ether stays the same or increases. So basically, what you'd be doing is you'd be reducing the rate of ETH issuance, or reducing the rate that ETH supply is inflated, or you would be essentially keeping the ETH supply the same or decreasing it. So in any of these cases, less ETH is entering into the supply than before. So if you decrease the supply or the rate at which the supply is increased, then the price of ETH would appreciate just based on the supply side of that equation. So does cybersecurity play a role in the blockchain industry? Yes, of course it does. So basically, any cybersecurity skills, can be repurposed for blockchain. This is coding live streams. Yeah, I might be able to do that. So we have so we did see another thing that was pretty cool pop up. So this was for the NFT space. So basically, let me pull this up on my screen here. So we saw an NFT go to marketplace at Sotheby's auction for Tim Berners-Lee. So this is source code for the WWW, or the World Wide Web. So this is some of the early important source code for the foundations of the internet. And it was actually auctioned off here as an NFT. Well, it looks like it's currently at auction, right? It hasn't gone off auction yet, but the current bid is over $1 million. Okay, so everybody says that NFTs are dead. Well, there could be they could have run a hype cycle, and some of the major NFTs that are like crypto native might have peaked in value, but we're still seeing somebody willing to pay over $1 million for an NFT of the source code of some of the early days of the internet. So this is pretty cool, and this is it's one of those things. Think about this, all right? I went through this whenever 2017 happened, whenever the bubble popped, and then we entered into a multi-year bear market. Trust me, I mean, like I started like on YouTube at that time when everybody was just like fleeing crypto, right? The bubble had popped. People were sitting around wondering like, hey, what are we going to do with smart contracts? What are we going to use blockchain technology for? DeFi hadn't really even happened yet, okay? But here's something that's really important to note. Crypto leapt forward like crazy in 2017, all right? And it's sort of a Pandora's box situation where you've let Pandora out of the box and there's no stuffing it back in, okay? So I had crypto run a major hype cycle at the end of 2017 into 2018, entering into that type of bear market. Did a lot of attention leave the space? Of course it did. But there was still this remnant, all right? Still this major realization for what this technology is capable of that stuck around and actually started building a lot of this stuff, okay? And so I was here through that entire process. I was building up this YouTube channel, like working with blockchain during that time. And we came out with what we have today that kind of drove this next wave of adoption. And, we're in this cool off period. We'll see how long it lasts. Does it do what it did in 2018, 2019? We don't know for sure. But I have a feeling that, the actual technology is going to continue at a rapid pace and continue to snowball even faster than it did in 2018, 2019 for lots of reasons. We have way more tools. We have way more things to build off of. We have way more ideas, more users, all that type of stuff. And so the point I'm trying to make with all that is with NFTs in particular, could those have run a hype cycle? Yes, I think they definitely could have. Has the bubble maybe popped on NFTs? I think probably, but that doesn't mean that there aren't other people saying, hey, these things are awesome. We can do a lot with NFTs. These things are coming back. And so I think this is a pretty good example of that. So also don't forget, we have so many other use cases for NFTs besides just collectibles. You could do theoretically anything with NFTs, concert tickets, insurance contracts, deeds to properties, all that type of stuff. Now, some of the stuff holding back NFT adoption and innovation, honestly, is regulations, not necessarily technology itself, because, it's not that hard really to model a deed to a house, with an NFT from a technological perspective. The hard thing is basically getting somebody to honor that and use it and have the right incentives where it makes sense for them to put it on blockchain rather than do it their current way, especially when you're talking about this massive, back catalog of public records, okay? So it could be the type of situation where, you see more of a developing area or a small municipality try that, rather than some big established system. You sort of like seeing some of these Latin American countries push for a Bitcoin adoption, right? Places where they can get some benefits that outweigh the costs of doing it. So it'd be a similar type of thing for NFT adoption. At least I could see that being the case, okay? So I was actually going to pull up an NFT site here, but wait on that. Some other questions in the chat here. Someone says, hit that like button. Yes, hit that like button. Someone says NFTs will moon eventually. Yeah, I think it's possible. Someone says Chainlink is the best team in crypto. Chainlink's a good team. Someone says explain NFTs why they're valuable. So it's one of those things where, like, you know, the value is always going to be subjective. The value is always going to be in the eye of the beholder in one sense. But you know, think about digital art, for example, or like if you had the ability to own a painting from a famous painter a long time ago, or at least the rights to it, right? Even if you didn't own you know, everything, right? That still has value in and of itself. Somebody says, can I buy ice cream with crypto? I think there's probably some places where you can buy ice cream with crypto. Somebody says, where should I start with blockchain development, Cardano or Ethereum? I would definitely start with Ethereum. Ethereum actually has smart contracts. It's had them for a long time as a very rich developer ecosystem. There's lots of apps that you can build with Ethereum and integrate with right now. That's where a majority of the blockchain developers are. So you're going to be able to, you know, capitalize on the network effects of that technology. Somebody says, El Salvador, you can buy ice cream with Bitcoin. So what do I think of Chainlink? I think Chainlink's a great project. I think it's very essential for decentralized finance and also just other blockchain applications in general. That being said, the underlying technology of Chainlink, so oracles, I think are essential for blockchain to really provide value, and Chainlink's one of the best, if not the best, implementation of that with large network effects, particularly on top of Ethereum network right now. So as for the price of the Chainlink token, you know, I don't have much to say there, but the actual underlying technology is pretty amazing. Now, the Chainlink token does have a place in that ecosystem, which can definitely, you know, that can impact the price of Chainlink itself. You have to hold Chainlink tokens in order to pay fees for Chainlink Oracle contracts. So that's a pretty cool token design. I think they were a pretty early innovator in the space on why you could use tokens for something cool like that. Somebody says, how do you get your foot in the door when applying for blockchain dev positions? So that's a great question. So if you were starting from scratch, and I actually talked about this in the career masterclass we did, career building masterclass a couple weeks ago. So that's a great question. So if you're trying to get started for the first time, then and you don't have any development experience, then you're essentially asking somebody to take a chance on you. Okay, so how do you increase the odds that somebody will take a chance on you to kind of reverse engineer this problem? Number one, you need to prove that you have the skills that they need to be profitable in their workplace, basically get an ROI off of hiring you. Okay, so how do you do that? Well, you prove that you have the technical skills. You can do that by, you know, building a portfolio. Okay, open sourcing the code, basically build something like you would have to build at a job. And get that experience on your own. How do you get a job without experience? Well, you acquire the experience on your own. Okay, and then, you know, how could you convince someone to take a chance on you once they've seen you have experience? Well, it's still kind of a risk for them. So you could do a couple things. You could work for a reduced rate to get started, just to get your foot in the door. Okay, and that gives you experience, which you need, and they get a little better deal because it costs them a little bit less. You can negotiate that rate higher as you've proven that you can, you know, hang in the workplace. And also, how do you increase the likelihood that someone actually take a chance on you? Because not everybody will take a chance on you. Well, you just apply to as many places as you can to try to find that person. And then once you do the things we talked about, and that will greatly increase the likelihood that you'll get hired. Somebody says when it's up, everyone will act like they know everything, and when it's down, they act like they are clueless. Someone says that what advice for anybody who wants to pursue a career in NFT as a marketer? Get good at marketing and, master the blockchain space. So let's see here. Do you think we're going to have a crash in Bitcoin again in the next few weeks? We certainly can. Somebody says, I just finished the boot camp too. Thanks for answering. Awesome. Great work. So what will happen to Bitcoin and ETH prices if central banks start using central bank digital currencies? Man, it's hard to say. I think it can be good for crypto in one sense. I've heard multiple sides of this argument, right? So when they're talking about central bank digital currencies, basically, cryptocurrency issued by a central entity like a government, like central banks who are behind, in a country. So the idea here is that they would have some sort of digital currency. In my opinion, like this is kind of anti-crypto. So it's like crypto is supposed to be a decentralized peer-to-peer cash network that's borderless, all that type of stuff. And this is kind of the opposite. This is like a centralized cash system that probably gives people the ability to track everything you do. So in that sense, it's like kind of bad. There's other opinions on this that it kind of gives legitimacy to crypto and a reason to use that instead of central bank digital currencies. So, that could actually increase the demand for something like ETH and Bitcoin for people who don't want to be in that system. All right, everybody, that's all I got for today. As always, smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. That really helps these videos out so the more people can learn about blockchain. If you're as fascinated with this technology as I am, you want to get your hands dirty, how can you get started today? Well, you can go to my YouTube homepage. You can find my free courses there. They're like Udemy courses, but they're totally free. And if you like those and you want to take the next step, or hey, maybe you want to take a massive shortcut entirely, I can show you how to become a blockchain master step-by-step, start to finish over at dappuniversity.com/bootcamp. You don't have to be an expert to get started today. I've helped people with zero coding experience become real-world blockchain developers in a matter of months. So that's all I've got. Until next time, thanks for watching Dapp University.